Hey everybody, happy Halloween. If you know me, you know that this is my favorite holiday, my favorite time of the year. And you also know that around this time of year, the vampires like to come out. So, today I'm going to be sharing with you guys a special recipe for the vampires out there. In the Philippines, this is known as Dinuguan. And for all the English speakers here, that's basically blood stew. So let's get started. Okay guys, like I said, this is blood stew. That's what we're going to be cooking today for your inner vampire. So here we have some chopped up pork. I'm using about 4 pork chops. So traditionally for this kind of recipe in the Philippines, they would use like the intestines and other organs and stuff. But that stuff is harder to get here in the US, and I like meat better, so we're using pork chop. Alright, over here we have ginger, onion, 1 pepper that goes in the end. Usually you would want to use a banana pepper, but this is all we had. And of course garlic. So I know what you guys are thinking, vampires, garlic doesn't work, but we're just gonna ignore that. In here, the secret ingredient. This is about 10 ounces of pig blood. You can also use cow blood if you want, or I mean, if you're really adventurous, go talk to your neighbor. Maybe you can. Here we've got a cup of vinegar, some fish sauce, and brown sugar. There are a few other things that we'll add as we go through, like we're going to add a cup of water, salt, pepper, but these are the main ingredients: onion, ginger, garlic, pork blood, and vinegar, and a little bit of sugar. Alright, so before we go on, I'm just going to answer a few questions about this recipe. Like I said, yes, it is real pig's blood. This is not for the squeamish. Number 2, you might be wondering, where do I get pig's blood to make something like this? Try your local Asian market. They might have some, usually frozen. Or try like local butchers. Sometimes they might be willing to donate you some. But the thing is, when you're working with blood, you want it to be as fresh as possible. Like if it's not frozen, you want to use it like within a day, 2 days tops. It's got to be fresh, and if it smells funny, if it doesn't have that bright red color, like if it turns brown, that's not good blood. Throw it out. So yeah, those are the main things about this recipe. Let's get our vampire on. Alright, so we're going to start by mixing in about 2 spoonfuls of this vinegar into this blood. The vinegar is really going to stop the blood from like thickening up, and it's going to keep it nice and anticoagulated. We're going to start by heating up some oil. Just want about a tablespoon. And what we're going to do is we're going to saute the garlic, onion, and ginger. That's what you do with most Filipino recipes to start. Alright, so we're going to add that out of the way. So we're just going to add our onion, garlic, and ginger. We're going to saute that until the onion starts to clarify a little bit, starts to smell really good. Okay, now that this is that we got these all sauteed in here, you want it on a high heat. We're going to add the pork. And what you really want to do here is brown the meat so it has a nice outer texture. So we're starting to get a little bit of a browning going on. And when you start to get that browning, you want to add a splash of fish sauce. Just about a tablespoon. Depends on your taste. So we're just like that. So yeah, you add the fish sauce, and we're just gonna cook it in this for about another minute or two. Alright, so our next step, after we've let that cook for a little bit, is to add our vinegar. Yeah, you really don't want to stir this too much, you just want to bring that to a boil. So this is gonna simmer down for about 5 minutes or until it's a little reduced, and then after that we're gonna go ahead and add some water, cover it, and let it cook until the pork is nice and soft. Just a cup is probably fine. So we're just gonna cover that and let it cook. Now for what you've all been waiting for. We add in the blood. So working with blood is a lot like working with milk. You want to make sure you keep stirring it because you don't want it to curdle like milk. So we're going to pour this in. You don't want it to get too hot. Just look at that. Yeah, we don't want that to get too hot, and we just want to keep constantly stirring it. What's going to happen is it's going to cook, and it's going to turn brown, and it's going to thicken up. So right about now, we also want to add in our chili pepper and about a tablespoon of brown sugar. It's going to give it a little bit of a sweetness. A lot of people actually eat this along with little like rice cakes. We're just gonna keep cooking this. It actually cooks fairly fast, blood. I'm gonna add a little bit of salt and pepper. So you just want to add whatever is good to your taste. There's some salt, some pepper. And pretty much that's it. That's your vampire stew. So now that's done, you can just serve it over rice. Thanks for watching.